2, they're 4, they're 6, they're 8, shunting trucks and hauling freight. Red and green and brown and blue, they're the really useful crew, all with different roles to play. Around Tidmouth sheds or far away, down the hills and round the bends, Thomas and his friends.
It was another great day on Sodor. The engines were shuffling along, getting their jobs done. Later that day at the sheds, some people with notepads, cameras, and microphones came up. They asked the engines if they could do an interview with them. The engines said sure, and James asked, "What is the interview about? My shiny red paint?" They replied saying, "No, it's not that. Listen, we heard you watched the first ever episode of your TV show when it came out. Is that true?" "Yeah, we saw it. That was a decade ago." "What?" "Yeah, the models were great. They looked exactly like us, and still do. Just to let you know, in case of somehow you lost track of time, the year is now 1993. No, we know that. So why did you say your TV show came out a decade ago?" "Because it did. Yeah, Brett Alcroft and David Minton did a great job." "Hold on, I'm sorry, I don't think we're on the same page. We're talking about the lost 1953 sad story of Henry Pilot." "Oh, you're talking about that one. The first TV show. I remember that TV episode. Now, that's a TV show I haven't seen in a decade. It was like 4 decades ago?" "Okay, good. We're all on the same page now. Now, if you could just tell us your experience with the show." "Alright, it was in May 1953, just another day on Sodor like today. The man, Reverend W. Audrey's book series based on our adventures was selling very well, and the more his books sold, the more people wanted to come visit the island. But one day, the Reverend W. Audrey came to visit us. He had big news. "Here's James. I'm sure I'm not late for the meeting, right?" "What's the news, Reverend W. Audrey?" "Yeah, we want to know." "Alright, engines, here's what's been going on. The BBC sent Eric Marriott, the editor of Edmund World Publishing, a letter saying they would like to make a TV show based on the railway series, and you guys. Are you saying we're gonna have our very own TV show on TV?" "Yes, the show will be airing on June 14th this year." So Topham Hatt was very excited too. They will be adapting the sad story of Henry and Edward, Gordon, and Henry. Henry didn't seem that excited for the first episode, though. "No one ever lets me forget the time I wouldn't come out of the tunnel in case the rain spoiled my paint." Buffy and W. Audrey, what are the next episodes after Edward, Gordon, and Henry? They're only adapting 2 stories, Percy, but maybe, if the first 2 go well, we will let them adapt more stories. Who's gonna show up in the first episode other than Henry? James and Edward are gonna appear. I don't get why James is gonna be in it. He wasn't in the original story. I guess they thought the unknown wet engine was James. When should we start practicing for acting in the show? I want to make sure my wet paint is super shiny for the show. They're not going to film you and the others, James. They're going to film with model trains. Wow, that sounds cool. So anyway, the TV show is going to air on June 14th this year. So try to remember that if you want to watch it. Alright, engines. So if you want to watch that TV pilot, you gotta work hard these upcoming weeks. Yes, sir. We worked hard as much as we can all month. We were so excited to see us on screen. Us being on TV could get us more visitors than we ever thought before. We might even get a movie. We were so excited about the endless possibilities. And finally, the day came. We finished our work, and so Topham Hatt brought this big theater TV screen so we can all watch it. Hope this episode goes well. I paid a lot of money for this big theater TV screen. Shh! The show's starting.
Henry was feeling very sorry for himself. He said to James,
"You know, James, I suffer dreadfully. No one cares."
James said, "Oh, rubbish, Henry. You don't work hard enough." Henry was bigger than James, but smaller than Gordon. Just then, the driver and fireman came along to start work.
Wow, the show looks great so far. I guess the only complaint I have with the show so far is that the model engine of me doesn't exactly look like me,
It
but
was
they
Henry's
tried.
turn to take the express. Then he covered the glowing middle part with smaller lumps. And Henry went on his way.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this show so far.
He wanted to go fast, but his driver wouldn't let him.
Steady, old fella. Steady now, Henry.
Yeah,
Plenty
this
of
is the
time.
best TV show ever, and nothing can ruin it. Disgraceful. Disgusting. Despicable. By next week, the reviews of the Sad Story of Henry pilot episode hit the news. It was a disaster. Everyone hated how someone's hand picked up Henry and put him back onto the tracks. We here at the BBC would like to say We're sorry about how we treated Thomas and his friends on TV. We'll try to do better next episode. Sorry, BBC. There won't be another episode. What? Why? Me and Edmund Ward would like to discontinue the TV series. Why? Because as the creator of their book series, I didn't like how you treated these beloved trains on TV. The deal is off. After that TV disaster, me and my friends went back to living our lives. The Topham Hatt tried returning the big theater TV screen, but the store didn't accept returns for big items, so he was mad about that. Reverend W. Autry went back to continue writing his book series about us, and I heard in 1976, Reverend W. Autry turned down a deal for making a cartoon series about us. I think it was because something about the American market gained a hold of it. I honestly don't know. But finally, in 1984, we came back to TV and a TV show called Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, created by Britt Allcroft and David Mitton. It was a success, and still is today. We were upset at the time that the original TV show failed, because we thought it would make us really famous, but now looking back at it, we were already famous enough, and we would love to thank Reverend W. Autry and his books for that. And that was our experience on the 1953 Sad Story of Henry pilot. Thank you. Why are you writing notes and filming us? This is an interview we're doing for the upcoming documentary about the history of Reverend W. Autry and all of you. Wow, that sounds exciting. Yeah. Hey guys, I wonder if we can still watch that 1953 pilot episode, because maybe, looking back at it, it will help with the documentary. You can't actually, BBC did it live, and back then, to save space, they taped over old shows, so the footage for the 1953 pilot is forever lost. Oh. Well, to be honest, I think the 1953 Thomas TV show is the worst Thomas and Friends show ever. Imagine if in the future there was a worse Thomas and Friends TV show than the 1953 one. No, I think nothing can ever be worse than that failed pilot. Well, thanks for taking your time to do this interview. Goodbye, and have a great day. What if someone recorded the live broadcast in 1953? Then the pilot would no longer be lost. Well, see, the chances that someone did that is like a 9% chance. Probably 0%. Oh.
They're 2, they're 4, they're 6, they're 8, shunting trucks and hauling freight. Red and green and brown and blue, they're the really useful crew. All with different roles to play, around Tidmouth sheds or far away, down the hills and